Hello everybody, how is it doing today? So, some of you might know this already. DECA has come out with the server merge again. So, at last, it's been a long time coming. We're talking server merge at last. Um, I'm pretty sure that should say again. It was going on 3 months ago when we all voted for that terrible outcome. But it looks here that they're actually fixing stuff, and they've listened to players, and they're trying to make right by us here. So you guys can go ahead and read this, or go to the Discord and hit the link on this to see the full thing. I'm only going to talk about some things on here because honestly, there's a lot to go over here, and I honestly don't have that much time in my life to go through everything because a lot of it's actually just common sense stuff. But I'm going to go over the things that I'd like to talk about, the things I find that are pretty important. Now, like I said, you can go over to the Discord and click on this, and you can read it, or try to read it on here. I'm going to go to let's see, number 2 here. How long do we have until this potentially happens? Well, it says here 4 to 8 weeks. So like 2 months. I mean, it's been a little over that now since this merge thing was happening. So I guess that's not too bad. We can still get our ducks in a row and all that good stuff. But yeah, that's not too long at all. What else here? 3. When will the official server mergers be announced? Well, 1 to 3 weeks from the beta. So once they do the beta, then they'll announce how it went and all that stuff. I'm pretty sure the world we're merging with, we're going to be just fine. So that's great. So let's go down here. Okay. Now this is a big one here. Why not merge 3 or 4 servers together instead of 2? Now, that'd be a good idea, honestly, because there are some worlds out there, some servers that they're just dead. I mean, I got merchant tunes in a few of these dead servers, and let me tell you, there's only like 3 items in the auction house, and I don't mean 3 pages, I mean 3 items. And there was literally, I can't remember which one it was, I think it was Lug, and there was like literally nothing in there. I was just like, oh, that's Furion's old stomping grounds there, and there's just literally nothing in there. I was shocked. I was like, wow. But yeah, 3 to 4 servers together, actually that would be a good idea. Or having like, one big server, let's say like Epona, Arwan, those are big servers, and I don't see any problem with having like a dead server, put on that, because the economy would be just fine still, and it's not really bringing over that many people, honestly. But yeah, I mean, 3 or 4 servers would be fine, but there's going to be an issue with that, with what I'm going to talk about later, and that would be the issue with that, but I'll talk about that in a bit. Let's go down to 10. Why not allow server transfers instead of merging? Now I'm going to read what this says. While server transfers create and balance migration, mergers allow systematic ecosystem management and performance optimization. Server transfers are not discarded from the picture, but at that time are more complex to set up due to various reasons. Now, excuse me on that word there. I've not read this completely all the way through. I pretty much just read what they are about and what I want to talk over with this. Now, there are reasons to transfer servers, because there's some times where you're playing an MMO or any MMO where you just don't get along with anybody, and they don't get along with you, and you burn bridges or they burn bridges with you, and you can't progress in the game because you can't be any clans, and you've been blacklisted. Maybe you've been blacklisted for a reason, or maybe not. I don't know, but maybe you want to turn over a new leaf or something like that. Sometimes you're like, man, I wish I could just go to another server with my tunes that I already have leveled up and endgame, not have to start over again. And I can see in some cases where this would be helpful to some people, but in the long run, I don't think it's a good idea because then you're going to have like everybody's gonna be like, oh, I want to, bring my main over to Epona or R1, and I'm gonna thrive over there. See, that wouldn't work because there was a while there where everybody's like, I got to go to Epona, and that was a big topic. But I honestly don't think that is a good idea at all. I mean, unless it's like you honestly just you got screwed over in a server and nothing was your fault and you can't progress, then maybe there's rare exceptions, but for the most part, that's not a good idea at all. Now, I'm going to skip all the way down to this one down here. This is a big topic. What happens if I have tunes on the same account and servers that get merged? Well, all characters will remain. You will access them from an update character list post-merge. If I have, so that's not really an issue there. So it's just going to be all on the same area on your server. You're not going to have the separate server names anymore. It's just going to be on that server. So that's nice. Come down here to 19. Where's that at? What will happen to players who have the same tune name or merged servers? Now, I guess what was going to happen with this, I thought they were going to use numbers instead of letters, but they're using letters here at the end instead of a number. The older character will retain the name. The other will receive an extra letter added to its name. Now, I thought maybe they'd put like a 1 or 2 at the end, be like, hey, I'm Blood Shadow 1 and that's Blood Shadow 2 over there. But hey, this is a good idea. I don't see a lot of characters maybe having this, but I'm pretty sure like I don't know if I've ever done that before where I have an account on another server where I have the same name with a 1 or 2 after. I think it's just all the same name. There's a couple of names that I use, but this will probably work out for the best though. Not a big deal there. Will players with duplicate names get to change their names? Now this is interesting because I might ask about this because it's yes, free name changes will be issued to characters that loses a name conflict. Such requests will be taken care of via tickets or to our CS team to update change the affected character name post-merge. This will be a process that might take some time due to the potential volume of such cases requests. So please be patient. We will do our best to be fair to everyone. Now, I made a warrior on Hearn and I screwed up because I wanted, Blood Shadow, and I wanted my warrior's name to be Bone Shadow, like blood and bone. But I put an extra, O in there, so it's Boone Shadow. Now, there's nothing wrong with Boone or Daniel Boone or Boone this and Boone that, and it's basically a name that means good-hearted and you're a good person and stuff like that. And I looked that up, and I was like, oh, that's not too bad. But I wanted it to be Blood and Bone. I wonder if I can be like, hey, do you mind taking an O out of my warrior's name, just one, just to make it Bone Shadow? That would be cool. And then everybody be in there, man, I thought your name had 2 O's in it. I'd be like, no, it's always been 1 O. I'm Bone Shadow. That'd be hilarious. That'd be cool. All right, what else do we want to talk about here? This is the big one here. Oh my God, this is terrible here. This is the one thing on here I completely disagree with. Will server names change after the merge? Oh man. What will the new names for merge servers be? Now, I'm going to give you my thoughts on this before I read the rest of this. Now, I believe, honestly, it'd be fair that if you have servers merge with each other, that you eliminate all names and you create a new name. Maybe a name that could be voted on. That everybody votes for and says, hey, that's a cool name, we'll name that our server. But they didn't go that route. Let's read this. Merge servers will get the name of one of the merging servers. The bigger server is expected to keep the name post-merge, while the other one will be discarded. Those will be announced in advance prior to their merges. During the beta, merge servers will include both server names. This is terrible, and I'm going to explain why. Now, I played on Don and I played on Mayboon. I probably spent more time on Mayboon than all servers, but I've been in Hearn for going on 6 years now. And that's my home server right now. That's where my main is, and that's where I play. And I'm proud to be there. And a lot of players have been there for, as long as I've been playing the game. They have OG characters in Hearn, and Hearn's their home. And if the other server we're merged with gets the name, that's going to be disheartening on players going, well, Hearn's my home. Why do we name it this? And it could be also that for the other server where we get the name and the other server does not. And that's bad. That's why it'd be better if we got to vote on a new name. Because then you don't have people in the game going, it's just, I don't know. In a way, it's kind of disrespectful to where you came from or where you play. But if we had a new character or a new server name option that we could vote on, then it's just kind of equal, if you know what I'm saying. Taking away the name and putting the one on there from the other one just doesn't seem fair to me. I don't like this. I'm going to try to email them my thoughts on this, and hopefully they'll watch this video. But that's honestly the most terrible thing I've ever heard. That is not right. But it is what it is. Can't do nothing about it. And now, you guys can go through all this stuff. This is all basic stuff here, like common sense stuff. I'm not going to go over any of this stuff or anything. But we're going to go all the way down here to the end. And it looks like Hearn and Rhiannon. So this is what we voted for, and Hearn and Rhea voted for each other. So this is awesome. And this is what we're projected to have. New auto is going to be Crom, Tyrannus with Lug, Morgan with Mayboon, Lur with Don, and Baylor with Solus, and Fingal with Donu. And of course the other servers will be standalone servers like it was before. But because of this, see what happened last time is there was 4 options. But within those 4 options there were like different, worlds, that were voting to merge with other worlds. And it got all mixed up and, like for example, Hearn, we became a role server, and Rhiannon's a role server also. But we got mixed up with Fingal for some reason after we voted for Rhiannon, and they voted for us. Fingal's not a role server. If anything, I'd call it like a dictatorship from what I've heard from people that play over there. I'm not saying that they are terrible, but if I don't know, it just seemed I got a lot of bad feedback from clannies over there that were in Awakening and all that stuff, and it's like they can't get stuff unless they play like 24/7, and it just it just doesn't seem fair. I mean, in some aspects, Don did this, Concordia, they had a pretty good system that as long as you show up for bosses, you do show, you get your DKP, you do eventually get your sets, you do eventually get good stuff. And that's the way it was ran. And Mr. Scar was, he was a pretty good guy, honestly. He's a good guy. And he was fair. But I just hear the chieftain in Bingo is just terrible. That's what I've heard. I'm not saying that he is. I'm just saying that's what I've heard. And that wouldn't mix well for Hearn to be with Fingal, because we're a role server, and that would have been a massive mess. People would be coming over to us going, oh, I can't get these items from that. And then people would be going over to them going, well, I already got what I need, so I'll be in the most powerful, clan here. And it would have just been a big mess. It's better to have Hearn with Rhiannon because we're both role servers. And most likely we're just going to have an alliance, still have roles, stuff like that. But, we'll figure it out when we can. But this is awesome. I mean, other than that whole name thing, server name, a lot of this is good. And of course, they got to take care of some bugs here and there that have been in the game forever. Like, my issue is with the Valley right now. It's getting better. It may be a little bit to do with my Wi-Fi, but man, I glitch out there all the time. I'm constantly freezing, constantly getting kicked. Man, the Valley's a mess. I'll get there, I'll be in the middle of fighting something, freeze. It'll crash, and then I'll come back, I'm dead, and I don't know. It's really bad. But, alright guys, I mean, I wanted to go over this with you and see what you guys think. I just don't like the whole server name thing. Well, anyway, you guys have a good one. Bye.